We begin here with some breaking news from Iran, where state media say more than 100 people have been killed in two explosions near the grave of Iran's top commander, Qassem Soleimani. Now, several people were also reported wounded in a stampede that followed the blasts in the southeastern city of Kerman. Now, mourners had gathered at the ceremony to mark 4 years since Soleimani was killed in a U.S. drone strike in Iraq. I'd like to bring in Ali Fatouhleh-Nejad, founder and director of the think tank, a Center for Middle East and Global Order. He's based here in Berlin. Welcome to the program. We have no group yet claiming responsibility for this attack, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts about what the possible and most likely options might be.
Sure. I think what is first important to note is that within minutes, Iranian state media have identified those bombings as having a terrorist, being a terrorist attack, which is also quite interesting in itself to be able to identify that within such short notice. So basically, at this point, we cannot know who is, behind this attack. But it's very clear that Iranian state media is very much reporting about this incident and, portraying it as being, carried out by Iran's enemies, probably Israel or the United States. But as we've seen in the past, and also in the 4-decade history of the Islamic Republic, when it comes to those terrorist attacks, there's a lot of uncertainty whether it has been carried out by outside forces or inside forces. So it is, very difficult to say. But at this point, it is very clear how the kind of propaganda is being spun by the Islamic Republic.
And what is the significance, or is there significance, of this happening on the anniversary of the U.S. killing of Qassem Soleimani?
Well, it's exactly what the regime wants to portray, that, Iran's outside enemies are targeting the people who are mourning Soleimani. But the truth of the matter is that Soleimani's popularity is not as strong as the regime aims to portray it. And we've seen that, there's been a lot of anger toward, Soleimani even after his death. I think it's an attempt within a domestic situation that is very difficult. The Iranian regime seems to be strong from the outside, but if you look closer at it, it is much more vulnerable. There's a lot of problems, a lot of concerns when it comes to the double elections that are due on March 1st, the elections for the parliament and for the Assembly of Experts, who should be selecting the next supreme leader. And there is also some kind of delusion with Iran's supreme leader. I mean, just very recently, he claimed to have a, direct conversation with God. So I think there is a lot of, the context and zooming out is important here. And also the Iranian, state has suffered important blows. For instance, the targeting of a senior RIGC commander in Syria by the Israelis. So at this point, when it comes to the incident in Kerman, it is not, one cannot say for sure what has been happening, but the context is very important here.
And of course, looking at events in the region and what's been happening in Gaza and then just in Beirut now, do you think that there's a possibility that this attack is connected to Israel's war in Gaza?
Well, I think this is quite unlikely. If you look at Israeli operations inside Iran over the last few years, you see a different pattern. You see basically the pattern that Israel aims to target infrastructure from the regime, from the military or nuclear infrastructures of the Islamic Republic. And also, predicated upon the realization in Israel's and also Israel's military circles, there is a wide gulf between state and society in Iran. So it's very unlikely that at this point in time, also in the context of the war in Gaza, Israel would decide to execute such an operation that has been targeting also civilians, knowing that this would be counterproductive because it is not aiming to to propel Iranians to become against Israel.
Thank you so much for your insights there. That is Ali Fatollah-Nejad, the founder and director of the think tank, the Center for Middle East and Global Order. We really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.